Hello and welcome. I think I am live. Going to refresh my page. Yeah, all good. Okay, so hi everyone and welcome to another YouTube live scrapbooking session on the Pinkfish Studio channel. Today it's me again. I know those of you who joined last week saw me there already, but we just had to switch some things around. So I switched places with Natalie and she will be back in the usual spot next week. So just a few things first before we get started. So I'm going to use the new Garden Bouquet washi tape product suite today. And oh, there's Heather. So behind the Pinkfish Studio name today is Heather, and she's going to be helping me out, answering some questions. And she's also going to give away a $15 gift card at the end of this live session. So all you have to do for that is just, be active in the chat, let us know when you shared this video or when you gave it a thumbs up. Obviously, just, be active, chat with people, ask questions and so on. So at the end of this video, Heather is going to announce the winner. So I hope you're all having a good day. I'm going to be honest, my day, or actually my week so far, hasn't been the smoothest and things have been a bit crazy. So I have to admit that I don't really have a plan for today. I am going to have to wing it somehow. I mean, I have a very, very rough idea, but sometimes I have quite a good idea of, the design I want to do. But today we will see how it goes. So in any case, I'm going to switch the camera so that you can see what we are working with. Okay. So hello everyone joining in. I see Esther, Heather, Paula, Cheryl, Jane. So thank you everyone for joining. So here you can see, so this is all of the Garden Bouquet goodies. And obviously this is the star of the show, the washi tape. And you can see that I already die cut quite a few of those flowers. Because this was actually the collection that I got to work with in the Scrapbook Create and Connect event past weekend. So I, worked with this collection quite a bit already, and therefore already have lots of flowers die cut. And here you can also see some of the ephemera pieces. So you can see there are also some florals in there. And one more thing that I prepared is this piece here, which is from the May release. It's called The Magic in You phrase. And you can see, so these are actually two separate products. You can either get the die, like the words and then the outline die, or you can get a hot foil plate with the outline die. So these are actually two separate products. I just put them in the same sleeve. And I prepared this with some gold mirror cardstock and just a vellum outline, because I thought, this might go well with the rest of this collection and it's a very versatile phrase, I think. So I just prepared this to see if I may be using it. Okay. So, and I think I checked like right before this YouTube live session, and I believe the washi tape is actually currently sold out. I'm very sorry about that. So I will try not to do too much with the washi tape today, but I can't promise anything because, as I said, I don't have a very good plan of what to do. But I'm not sure, if you want to get your hands on this washi tape, which you absolutely should, because it's stunning. It's my favorite Pink Fresh washi tape ever, with gold foiling and everything. Then just sign up for the notifications of, for when the product is back in stock. So definitely do that. And until then, get your hands on everything else of this collection. Okay, so you can see I prepared 3 photos. I'm not going to use all 3 on the same page. So I had 2 different, very rough ideas in mind. And I wasn't sure of which photo or photos to go with. So my idea, as I said, very rough idea. Before I explain, I see that Heather here is asking, Heather Seeley, sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. So the way you do this is you take this washi tape and just stick it to a piece of cardstock. It could be white cardstock. You can also use like craft cardstock, or vellum looks really good as well, or acetate you can also use. And you stick it down, and like the full panel, I'm not going to do it right now because I need this cardstock for something else. And then you get this coordinating die. So here's a smaller piece. You know, this is not the full panel you get, but I'm going to show you with this. So you would place your die on top of this, use some washi tape or something, to hold this in place, because it's quite a large die. So make sure that it doesn't shift when you send it through your die cutting machine. And then it die cuts all of these florals, and then you have some ready-made like die cuts for scrapbook layouts, cards, or whatever. And obviously also this large one, but I don't have this one die cut right now. And then this product suite actually also includes a coordinating stamp set, but I don't have this right now. And I believe this one is also sold out. And also there's also a stencil set available. So you can first stamp it and then color your florals whichever way you like with the coordinating stencil. So just, you know, quickly going over it for those of you who are not familiar with the washi tape product line of Pinkfish Studio. Okay, back to my idea. I hope that answers your question. So my idea was a very rough idea. Because I know that lots of people always ask for layout inspiration with bigger photos. I know I use lots of small photos a lot of the time, because that's just a look I really like. But I know that lots of you prefer large photos, or at least want to have some inspiration with large photos as well. So this is why I was thinking of using this one and just have like one large photo on my layout to give you some inspiration for that. And what I thought I might do is I have this die here. And this one is not linked in the video description yet, because as I said, this is all very like last minute that I kind of pulled some things from my stash. And this is called a diagonal stitched rectangles. It includes 4 dies, 2 with just a rectangle and 2 with this diagonal stitched rectangle. And I thought, because the larger one has almost the same size as this green pocket here, apart from, you know, the rounded corners. So I thought maybe have like a horizontal design and have it like 3 panels. So one panel, the pocket, then one panel, my photo, which I would die cut with this die to also give it like a fun detail with this edge. And then have a 3rd panel. And this could be, you know, the washi tape, also die cut with the same die and use it as like a pattern paper. Or have another, bring in another die, not from this collection, like a cover plate die cut this from white cardstock, and then have, you know, this panel right here. So this would be, if I cut this from white cardstock, instead of using this as a panel, it would be a little bit softer, not that much color, and it would give me the option of maybe using more of the die cut flowers, because if I use this panel, you know, cut it like this, then I think it would be, I wouldn't be able to use a lot of those small die cuts on my page because this is already quite a lot. So we will see. I have enough time to try both options, but I think I'm going to go with the large photo instead of the two smaller ones. So I hope this is, you know, that at the end we will have some nice inspiration for large photo layouts. I can't promise anything yet. So first of all, I'm going to go ahead and die cut my photo. And you could obviously simply cut it with a paper trimmer to the size that you like if you don't have a die with some kind of border. Oh, perfect. So there's an update. The washi for this came in today. So it will be restocked today. So everyone, you know, get your hands on it because, as I said, it's my favorite washi tape by Pinkfresh Studio ever. Okay. I'm going to cut my photo. And actually, you know what? I think, I can't remember, someone shared a tip. So the issue that I have, slight deviation, is that when you die cut a photo with your cutting plate that already has, you know, those indentations from previous cut or cut marks from previous cuts, it kind of presses that into your photo. And with small photos, it usually, you know, it doesn't show that much, but I have quite a large photo with lots of white space. So it would show that those marks. And I know someone shared it like a tip for how you can avoid that, but I can't remember right now. So I'm just going to cheat and use a completely new cutting plate without any cut marks or cutting lines, so it won't mess up my photo. But if you have a tip, then I'd be glad to hear it. Debbie, I completely agree. This is also the first washi tape that I actually have 2 rolls of, and I already used up the first one. I admit I used part of it for an upcoming workshop I'm teaching. So I, you know, die cut 1 panel for each student, but nevertheless, this is definitely a washi tape that I would also use up on my own. Easy. Okay, so here you can see this really fun detail that it gives. And it's slightly off center, but it doesn't really matter. That's fine. In the end, you won't be able to notice. So yeah, I was thinking, so thank you everyone for that tip with the copy paper. I wasn't sure if that would actually make the cut lines even more visible, because, you know, it would add another layer that presses into the photo, but I will definitely try this out, but maybe not, you know, on a live session when I can't reprint my photo just like that. So I'm definitely going to try this off camera. So I just went ahead and used the same die to die cut this washi tape panel. And here's another tip. So I just used the packaging insert from the puffy stickers from Garden Bouquet. You could use any embellishment, and use this as the base for my washi tape, because, you know, that way I don't have to use up my white cardstock and I make use of this packaging. Okay, so I have these 2 panels, but I'm also going to go ahead and die cut this 1 time, because let's be honest, even if I don't end up using it on this layout, I will definitely find a use for it on a future project. I'm just thinking which one I would prefer. And I know I have been using those 2 cover plates quite a lot, but I have to be honest, I need more. These are the only 2 cover plate dies I have right now. So hint, hint, Heather, I need to extend my wish list. So yeah, I think I like this one better for this layout. That's not gonna work. Or well, it is, but this will be easier. Oh, I will, Heather. I will send you that wish list. But I have to admit, I have been using the cover plate dies quite a lot in my projects, and I think they are just perfect whether you are a card maker or a scrapbooker. I think they work for any type of project. So I really like that. And I'm not sure if you saw my YouTube live from 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, or like second to last of my YouTube lives on the Pink Fresh channel. There I showed you how you can use a hot foil plate for dry embossing, and you could also use your cover plate dies for dry embossing. So that's also a really fun thing to do to kind of get more use out of your cover plate dies. And if you're not, if you haven't used those yet or not a lot, one tip is to not place your die like this, you know, with the edge parallel to this opening, but rather have it on an angle so that you don't have to push or, you know, work as hard to get it through. So there won't be that much resistance. So that's definitely one way to make it easier. And I know that Heather and Leah have been sharing a tip for making sure that these cut really well and you get all of those chats kind of taken care of. I think with some bubble wrap mailers, but since I don't have any, I have to do it the old-fashioned way and just whack this piece to get rid of the chats. Yeah, well, you can try sending your wish list. Not sure what will happen then. Okay, just going to go ahead and use my handy dandy pretty dual tip embellishment tool to poke out the rest of the chats. But as you can see, there are not that many left after whacking it on the table. So it's all good. And I think that's it. Oh, one more. And now we are done. Okay. So what I can already tell is that I don't like having those 2 pieces right next to each other with the same border, and then this kind of sticking out. So I would either have to switch it up and move my photo over, or as I said, not use the washi tape and instead use this, but I would have to trim it down a little bit so it's, you know, roughly the same size. I kind of like the washi tape, and maybe, you know, maybe it's actually the perfect time to kind of switch things up and not have the photo right in the middle, in the center, which is kind of, you know, predictable and the obvious way to do it. Just going to check comments real quick if I'm missing anything. No, I think I'm good. If you had a question and you didn't get an answer from me or Heather, just ask again. It's not that we are ignoring you. Sometimes comments just get a little bit lost. So yeah. So I think I'm actually kind of liking this. One thing that I wanted to share though is those dies, or especially this one with all of these openings, would be perfect to back it with something. So you could use, maybe like the back of one of these pockets, or obviously if you're not limited to just one collection, you could just grab a pen and paper or something from your stash or a piece of colored cardstock and use this to back your cover plate die. I know, Esther, my wish list actually also would say send one of everything if I could, because let's be honest, everything is beautiful. But yeah. So although I like this, I don't know, I'm kind of have my heart set on this cover plate die for some reason. I'm just going to kind of push a few things around and then just, see what works and what I can do. Because as I said, I didn't really get any further than this when kind of thinking about what I want to do today, because I just didn't have the time and things were a little bit crazy. So what I was talking about earlier with having this panel right here, it's already quite a lot of florals. So I can use a few more, but I wouldn't want to overdo it. So and you can see some of these were die cut from vellum, some from white cardstock, some actually just from printer paper, because if you use them on a layout like this, sometimes it's not, it's not even obvious that this isn't cardstock, it's just printer paper, because I'm going to add foam dots or something behind them anyway. And that way you can save your cardstock for something else. The chipboard frames are actually, apart from the washi tape, obviously, are my favorite embellishment in this collection. I think they are just absolutely beautiful, and I think the colors are perfect. And you get some of the gold foiling as well. So yeah, definitely my favorite thing in this collection. So I'm not sure, let's try it. Let's just go all the way and do a whole small floral die cut border, because I have enough of them die cut so that I can try it. If I had, this large cluster die cut as well, this would save me a little bit of time because it would cover a larger area, but I don't right now, and I don't want to do it right now because I have all of these small ones that, they also have to use those. I think that's, I don't know, I'm a little bit indecisive. It feels like this floral border is just kind of a safe or obvious way to do it. And I think it's too much with the panel over here. It's too many. I didn't know that there was such a thing as too many florals, but I think this is it. So maybe switch it out, try the cover plate. Well, Laura, that sounds like a good reason to go shopping in the Pinkfresh Studio online store, I would say. obviously, if you don't have the re-inkers you need, then you need to go shopping. And while you're there, you can already also pick up a few of the new goodies. Okay. Let me see. I'm not sure. I think it's too much. I think, you know, as I said, I think it's the safe way to do it, or an easy way to do it, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with doing an easy design. Don't get me wrong. But it just doesn't feel like something that I want to do today. But what I'm thinking is maybe not have these 3 panels exactly side by side, because I mean, I can cut this one down, but you can see that the pocket is just a little bit smaller. And if you stagger them a little bit, you know, just like this, it's not obvious that they are different sizes. So this is one way to do it. And, you know, I would still have this horizontal design, but you wouldn't be able to tell that they are different sizes. So let's see. Or maybe just have this peeking out, maybe just like that, and add in another layer. Maybe that could work. Nope. Oh, Colleen, I'm happy that you would have fun doing that design, because as I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't feel right for what, I don't know. I just don't feel like it today. Let's just put it like that. So I know I'm doing a lot of, you know, hemming and hawing, but yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes. And I love these tags that also come in the journaling bits package with the eyelets already, you know, they already have those golden eyelets, so they look really fancy and really nice. So, you know, the only thing that's kind of keeping me from going this way right now is that I feel like this needs something behind it. I want some color behind it. So, and because this is a washi tape product suite, so there's no pattern paper apart from these journaling pieces, but none that is large enough for backing this panel. What I'm thinking is actually just doing a little bit of ink blending behind this to add some color. And I'm not, or well, I usually don't do ink blending on camera because I still have to practice quite a bit. But since this will be covered with this cover plate die, it doesn't have to be that pretty or that perfect. But actually, you know what? I'm going to go the safe way. And I have these still from the event. So this is from my workshop that I taught, or from the class that I taught at the Scrapbook Create and Connect event. And I used a little bit of watercolor for one of my layouts with Garden Bouquet there as well. So these are already mixed with those 2 palettes here. So I just mixed colors that would coordinate with the Garden Bouquet product suite. And I'm actually quite a bit more confident with doing a little bit of watercoloring, but you could easily do this part with ink blending as well. It's just that I'm not that confident with ink blending on camera yet. So I don't have, well, I could use a dark green from my watercolor palette, but I have to say that I actually don't want to bring in any more green because this is already quite a bit of green. And I will definitely use just at least a few of those flowers, and they all have green. So in the end, there will be lots of green. And if I put more green on here, it's a little bit too much green and not enough of the rest of the colors for my taste. But if you could also, kind of go for a monochrome look, and then you could definitely, go all in with the green. So I hope I, explained that. Okay. So I'm just going to, let's see, trying to go in, well, not really rainbow order because this is not really a rainbow, but I'm just going to lightly, so you can see I've used a pencil to mark where the cover plate die will go. And now I'm just using those pre-mixed colors that I already have that coordinate with this collection. And I didn't put anything on this cardstock because I'm going to add the cover plate die on top of it. So I'm not adding too much water so that the cardstock doesn't warp, or at least not a lot. It's just to add a little bit of color behind the cover plate die. And by itself, this doesn't look very nice. So if this was visible at the end, obviously I would do the, how do you say it? Like the parts where the two colors meet, I would definitely blend them out nicer than what I'm doing right now, but you won't see those. So it's all good. And a little bit of the orange. I'm trying to, stay in this line so it doesn't peek out from underneath the tag or the cover plate die cut in the end. And I think the colors are actually really, really pretty. I'm thinking of, this inspires me to do another project where the watercolors will actually be visible in the end, because I think those go really nice, or like flow really nicely into each other. So I will definitely do something with those colors and watercoloring again. And now I actually kind of regret not planning something ahead with just the watercolors, because I think it looks beautiful. But as I said, I didn't have a very clear idea of what to do, so I'm just going to go with it. And we are too far in this live to completely change direction. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let this dry just for a second. And as I said, the colors that I used here were just mixed from these two palettes. So you don't have to have the exact colors in your watercolors to be able to do this. Let me check the comments real quick. Oh, happy birthday, Carrie. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan, doing some shopping after this. Sorry, just checking the comments. Okay, good. Okay, and you can see it's very subtle, and especially probably on camera, you won't be able to see it that show up that well, but it is definitely visible. But I think I will actually just extend the color on the top and bottom just a little bit to have it peek out from the top and bottom, so that there's a bit of a difference between the background and the white cardstock from the cover plate die. see if I have any of that upper color left. Yeah. So this is now going to peek out from behind the cover plate die just a little bit. But I think this will make the separation between the background and the die cut a little bit more visible. And you could also use, kind of some plastic packaging or something to help you with pushing the paint around. And you know what? I just thought I would add some splatters, but I will wait with that until the end because I know myself. And if I add splatters now, I will definitely smudge them because I can't, I just don't have the patience to wait for paint to dry. So I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, so here you can see what I mean. You have those two colors showing up a little bit, and I will definitely add some of the die cut florals in here as well. So, not to worry about that. Okay, I'm going to let this dry for a second before I adhere the cover plate die on top, because otherwise it won't really stick to it. But I will already go ahead and add some foam and dimension behind those two panels. And I think, I can't remember if I shared this tip in the event class or in a YouTube live session. So if you have some chipboard pieces left from, a project like a mini album or something, you can use those instead of foam tape to add dimension and, kind of use up those scraps and instead of throwing them away. Oh, thank you, Julie. So it seems like I shared this trick with the chipboard in the event class. And as always, I know I say that every time, but to me, this is really important. I never put my adhesive, whatever kind of adhesive I'm using, right until or up to the edge of the pieces I'm adhering, because I always want to be able to slide something underneath or tuck something in there. So yeah. And for my photo, I'm actually going to go with 2 layers of this chipboard because this is quite thin chipboard. There are different, how do you say it in English? Different weights? No, different thicknesses of chipboard. So this is quite thin. So one layer isn't enough for me for this photo, because I definitely want this to be kind of pushed up against, or, kind of to the foreground. And actually, you know what? 2 layers isn't even enough. So maybe for this one, I actually should have gone with my foam tape, but you will only know when you do it. This is too much. So this is thicker chipboard. There it is. Oh, definitely, yes. If you enjoy this video, I would love a thumbs up. And so, as I said in the beginning, one reason I decided on doing a layout with one large photo this time is that lots of people usually comment that, they like the small photo or seeing small photo layouts, but they would also like some inspiration with larger photos. So if you ever feel like you need more inspiration for a certain kind of product or technique, you can always share that in the comments, in the chat, and Natalie and I, at least when it comes to layouts, we'll definitely see what we can do, because sometimes we have an idea for the collection that we are going to work with. And sometimes we also don't really know what to do yet. So if you have a request, definitely share it and we will see what we can do. Oh yeah, Kelly, so the thumbs up option on the phone is actually, I don't know why YouTube does it like that, but it is really, really hidden. I can't even remember how to get to it, but I know that I had the same issue when I tried giving a thumbs up from my phone. And so this is going to be a little bit tedious, but I like dimension. So I will, and I can't use a piece of chipboard behind this because obviously it would show. So unfortunately I have to, or you know what? I can actually use my foam shape, make it a little bit quicker. Because I can add this in rows, so that you don't have to watch me put down foam tape or foam squares for the rest of this live session. And obviously, if you prefer your layouts to be a little bit more flat, you can just skip the part with the the chipboard or with this foam tape now. So you don't have to add that much dimension if that's not for you. Okay. I think this is dry enough now so that the panel will stick to it. Thank goodness for this foam tape, because imagine I had to pull off the backing of about 40 of those foam squares. So let's see. Since I marked in the beginning roughly where this should go, I know where to place it. And I will slide in just a few foam squares right at this edge after this live session, because otherwise you can see that it kind of sags there. But as I said, I will do this after the live. And I might even, what are we thinking about the watercolor? I think it needs more, actually. I think it's a bit weird that it stops here and doesn't continue on. So since I already, let's see, I think I will adhere those in place actually, and then add a little bit of watercolor coming out from underneath those two panels. And that way I don't have to deal with the wet cardstock when I try to add those panels. So I'm sliding this underneath and staggering it just a little bit so that it doesn't start on the same line as the cover plate die. So let's see. Again, staggering it a little bit. Like this. Okay. And now I can add a little more. I'm just going to go to pull up this, the edges of the panels. I'm actually going to mix the colors a little bit. So I don't want to have just a yellow line down here. So I'm going to mix the colors. And I know that I already did this technique with the watercolor border in my Create and Connect event, but I didn't even plan this for today. I have, as I said, so this kind of just developed. So normally, so the reason I'm doing this is I feel like it needs a little bit of separation. The panels need a little bit of separation from the background. And if I was working with a regular paper collection, I would simply use pattern paper to break up this border, if you know what I mean. But since I don't have pattern paper, I have to get creative. So I'm trying to do like the same color progression that I did on here. And then here at the top, I'm going to do it in reverse. So I started here with this sort of cornflower blue and ended with the yellow. And then from here, yellow to cornflower. And then I'm going to go cornflower to yellow. Okay, I think I'm good on questions. But as I said, if I'm missing anything, please just ask again. Just trying to make sure that I get as far ahead with this layout as possible in this time. You know, as I said, sometimes, obviously, if you have a plan already in mind, things tend to go a little bit quicker. And I usually kind of get to finish my layout in time. But with this watercolor idea right now, it kind of switched things up a little bit and kind of takes up some of the time that I would normally use on embellishing. But I think that when it comes to embellishing, you know, you have the stickers, you have the die cuts and so on. So maybe it's better to have some inspiration for some different techniques. At least I hope that's, you know, that's useful for you, what I'm showing here. I just can't get enough of those colors of this collection. It's, to me, it's one of the prettiest color schemes of a Pinkfresh Studio collection ever. So I think Days of Splendor, if I remember correctly, was my favorite collection. This was like a fall themed collection, also with some purples in there. And then this is probably my second favorite color scheme for a collection. Recommendations on good watercolor sets. To be honest, for like scrapbooking, I'm really loving these. So these are just 2 sets from Primer Marketing. This one is the Pastel Dreams. Is that how you pronounce it? I think it's pastel, which gives you a really good range of colors. And then this one is the Tropical set, also by Primer. And if you have those 2, and they are not too expensive, if you have those 2, you can, as you can see, you can kind of create pretty much any color you need. So with just these 2 sets, I was able to create any color for the Garden Bouquet collection. So I think that would be a good starting point. Okay, I think I'm good on comments, as I said. So one thing I will definitely do is add some twine in here, because a tag without twine to me, or ribbon or whatever, just looks naked. But these are all things that I would do after the live. So I will try to do some embellishing. And, you know, do like the rest of the more, or the simpler tasks, like adding twine after this live session. So this is, let's see. I definitely want to use this because I think it looks beautiful. I love the font of this. And you do get these pretty gold puffy alphabet stickers in the collection. And obviously they would work as really nicely as well. But I'm not feeling like I want to add a very big title. So I think this will do. And since I only did this like 3 minutes before going live, I didn't have time to add several layers between the outline die or behind like the gold foil to stack up this die cut, which I would usually do, because with this one, which is very intricate, it's really difficult now to use kind of foam tape or something to raise it up. And you know, I like dimension. So either I will, you know, just place this for now and then go back and redo this. Or let's see what it would look like if I actually put some. No, I don't want to have a colored outline. So I will probably go back and do this die cut again with several layers so that it is thicker. Yeah, so as Laura says, you really don't need fancy watercolors. I do have some Winsor Newton and a few other brands, but these were more intended for when I would actually do some watercoloring, you know, like coloring flowers or something, which I don't really do because I don't know. I feel like it needs practice, and to me, when there's slow progress with something, I tend to lose my interest. Okay, so what I'm thinking is doing a little bit of tone on tone. So I have like these blue purple flowers peek out from these parts, but I'm not sure, or if I will end up mixing all of the colors. I don't know yet. So I would just have a look through the embellishments. And you can see I have 2 sets of the cardstock stickers. So this is actually what I have left from all of my projects that I did with Garden Bouquet so far. And I have to admit that right now I don't really know what to do for embellishing. I feel like something like this would also look really nice. Have this, you know, kind of, this is actually also perfect for a card, I think. Oh, thank you, Jill, for saying that I'm winging it really well. Yeah, but I feel the pressure, you know, only a few minutes left and this layout isn't really finished at all. So I'm feeling a little bit of pressure to get something done. But at the same time, especially when it comes to embellishing, doing it under pressure usually doesn't really work, at least for me. So as I said, I will try to get some things done. But as always, you can, I will share the finished project on Instagram and so on. So if I don't get I will definitely not get done with this layout in time. That's, that's not a question. But I think that, or at least I hope that, what I shared so far was worth it, worth watching. So yeah. You know what? I think I actually want to have some of those flowers peek out from the pocket. But what I will do, because I want to be able to pull out this tag, because I want to add some journaling on there, is I will add my adhesive only to the front of these die cuts, so that they stick to the inside of the pocket. And I'm not going to use liquid adhesive, although that would be best for adhering this washi tape, because if I used liquid adhesive, it might smudge and actually close the pocket. So that's something that I want to avoid. So I'm going to go ahead and just use a tiny sliver of double-sided tape. Slide this in, push it down, and now it's adhered to the pocket, but not to the tag. And I can still pull out the tag. Okay, so obviously I'm not going for a tone-on-tone look, but I think that's okay because I also kind of had all of these colors flow into each other. Actually, no, you know what? I have to use this one, You Are My Sunshine, because my son really is my sunshine, and he's usually like this, smiling. So it fits. Well, thank you to everyone joining late. Thank you for joining us and for your nice comments. So I'm going to stick this down to some scrap paper, and I don't really want to, cut all around the edge, because as you can see, this is kind of scalloped, and I really don't have the patience to cut all of these scallops by hand. But what I definitely want is a little bit of thickness and to get rid of the sticky. And I know I could use a powder tool for that, but I feel this is quicker. So now I can use this as sort of a die cut. And of course, some foam tape. Okay, I'm going to place this here because I want something to connect those panels. I feel like otherwise they are very separated. So I definitely want this, and I already have this floral here that kind of touches those two. So it connects those two panels together, and then these are connected. And then, as I said, I will definitely raise this up or redo it. So I'm not going to adhere this right now, and so I can keep this for, a different project, a card or something. What else? Of course, some enamel dots. Those always work. For these, I will probably stick a little bit more to this tone-on-tone-ish color scheme, or color progression. And good thing I have 2 sets of the enamel dots. And I feel like you know, those bright colors. And to me, enamel dots always look a little bit like confetti. And I feel like this looks or works really well with the photos of my son, because, you know, as I said, he's usually smiling, having fun. Everything's kind of a party. So I feel like this fits him. And just one more here. And as I said, I want to add a little bit of watercolor splatters. So those will also be added. And so I don't need enamel dots in every color. So congratulations, Julie Urban. You are the winner of today's $15 gift card. Just email leah@pinkfreshstudio.com to claim your prize. And it's LEA@pinkfreshstudio.com, and give her 3 to 4 business days or 2 to 3 business days to get back to you. So yeah, congratulations. Okay, I don't want to keep, you know, all of you here for much longer, but I just want to add a few more accents. And then you are off the hook. And I can, you know, just finish this in my own time and then post the finished layout later on my channel or on my Instagram account and on the Pink Fresh Studio Facebook, in the Facebook group. So I'm really sorry that this layout is not really done. It's probably my most or my least done layout in a live session. But that's just the way it goes. Sometimes I usually try to avoid that, but I hope that you are still that you still enjoyed today's video. So you know what? I'm just gonna stop right here, because everything I'm doing right now is just kind of meh. I'm going to switch the camera for a second. Okay. And yeah, as I said, I hope that you still enjoyed this and that you will forgive me for, you know, leaving you with a layout in this state. But yeah, I guess, you know, sometimes life happens and you just have to kind of figure things out on the way or along the way. So just going to hold it up again. So as you can see, so this is it so far. I will add some more details and I will definitely share it. And I will make sure that next time I have a more thought out plan. But this week was just, I don't know, was too much. But still, I appreciate everyone for joining me and for giving this a thumbs up. And I hope that you will join again, even, or, you know, next time with a more finished layout. And next week, it's actually, as I said, Natalie here with you. And I believe she's going to be with you for a while because I will be traveling for a bit. And I think I will be back with a YouTube live at the end of June, actually. So yeah, I hope you all have a great day. And I hope you will join next week when Natalie's live. So thank you, everyone, and have a good day. Bye.